seconds here. I just want to get this out of the way and do this. All right, we'll get this knocked out here in a second. Waiting for YouTube to begin. And let me go here, do a refresh. There we are. We'll get this knocked out here in a second. I'm going to go here. Going to turn that off. Go back to the channel. All right. We'll give it just a couple of seconds here. This should be, it only should take a minute to do this, or just a couple of minutes. But I want to knock this out. Going to listen here, maybe if this will open. There we go. It's here. This should be, I think we sound okay there. Go back to the dashboard. All right. Do a refresh. All right. There's, okay. I think we're good to go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this should be a very quick update. Let's do this. Hang on. Let me go back to the YouTube app. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we go live in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1.
Looking at our world from a theological perspective, this is the Theology Central Podcast, making theology central.
Decisions, decisions, decisions. When do I talk about something? When do I not talk about something? And where should I talk about it? What am I talking about? Well, I'll explain everything right after I say good afternoon, everyone. It is Friday, December the 19th, 2025. It is currently 4:51 p.m. Central Time, and I'm coming to you live from the Theology Central studio, located right here in Abilene, Texas. Whenever you do a broadcast, you have to kind of decide, okay, some of those kind of behind the scenes updates, when do you talk about them, right? Because you can start a broadcast, say, okay, I'm going to mention this kind of in your introduction. But in some cases, it takes away from what you're trying to do, right? Especially if you want to just get right into your introduction. And not only that, if you spend 10 minutes, 15 minutes talking about something going on behind the scenes, well, that's 15 minutes before you get to the actual topic. And so now you've only got, let's say you're going to try to shoot for an hour. Well, now you only have 45 minutes left, right? And many times when you think you're going to give a quick behind the scenes update, it takes longer than you intended. And so when do you talk about it? When should you mention it? So sometimes what I like to do is just turn on the microphone and kind of say, all right, I'm going to give a couple of updates about this or an update about that, and just do it in its own standalone episode. And then any future episode is not, it doesn't have to show up there. I think it's a good idea. I don't know. Sometimes you can debate it all day which way to go. But obviously I made the decision, so I've turned on the microphone to really talk about one major thing, and that is YouTube. All right. Many of you know that you can listen to us on YouTube. You can listen to us when we're live on YouTube. And obviously you can go listen to anything in the archive. I don't know how many total videos are available on YouTube. There are a lot, okay? Well, when I say video, it's audio. All right, let's make it very clear. We're on YouTube, but we're an audio broadcast, all right? So there's no video. So you can go listen to us on YouTube whenever you want. And anytime I'm done with a broadcast, that episode, that live broadcast appears on YouTube usually within a few minutes. It's there relatively soon. So let's talk about how YouTube started for us and kind of where we stand today. And hopefully we can meet a kind of an arbitrary kind of achievement, maybe. We'll talk about it. So this is the way it started. I knew that YouTube obviously is, the place everyone goes for everything. YouTube kind of dominates the broadcasting world, I guess. If someone's got something to say, you put it on YouTube, right? So, but I was like, I don't want this to be a video podcast. I don't, right? I don't. A lot of them are, it's just someone there with a pair of headphones on, talking into a microphone, staring into a camera. I don't know. Some people like the visual element, but are you going to sit there and be looking at your tablet or your phone, or are you just going to hit play and then just go do something else? You're not going to really be watching it. How many people sit there and watch just some person staring into the camera, talking into a microphone? I don't know. I tend to like audio better. I just like it. I like it. It leaves a little mystery, right? What does the studio look like? I don't know. It just leaves it where you kind of fill in your own imagination. So I tend to, I've kind of just said, well, I'm not going to go on YouTube. I'm not going to really look at that as a platform to worry about. And if you look at what kind of trends on YouTube, I'm like, that's definitely not me. I'm not going to fit into that category, because to really trend on YouTube, you have to do an expose, Taylor Swift, a Satanist, or Taylor Swift, a part of the Illuminati, an expose, shocking. And then you got to have the little thumbnail artwork of somebody with a shocked expression on your face, or I don't know. It just seems so gimmicky and produced. I don't like it. So I'm always kind of like, no, we're not going to worry about it. Well, then all of a sudden one day I get contacted by our podcasting hosting site, which is Spreaker, right? And they're like, hey, do you want to be on YouTube? I'm like, well, I don't want to do any video. No. All you have to do is basically click on this button and we'll send your videos over to YouTube. I'm like, okay, let's do it. So I did it. And I didn't pay a lot of attention to it. I began to realize that the way it was happening is I didn't have any real control, right? I couldn't really do anything with the channel. I didn't have any really control of anything. It just got sent there, right? And so it was okay. I didn't pay a lot of attention. And then the numbers, I started realizing we were getting some subscribers, it went with 10, 20, 50, 75. And I'm like, okay, well, that's not bad. Because at least I get a number of how many people are following us. Like on Sermon Audio, I have no idea how many of you have hit follow us on Sermon Audio. I have no idea. I don't know if it's 1. I don't know if it's 10. I don't know if it's 50. I don't know if it's 60. I have no idea how many people are following me, which is kind of an important number to know since you're paying $60 a month to be on that platform. You think I should know how many people are following me, right? Because that kind of tells you, because the people who click to follow you, those are kind of your core audience, right? Other people just may do drive-bys, but if someone is following you, that means every one of your messages shows up in the Sermon Audio feed tab. So that's a greater chance of, you kind of get an idea of how many people you're reaching. So on YouTube, I started realizing the numbers were going up, and I'm like, okay, well, let me see what I could do. So I started messing around with it, trying to figure out the best way to manage it, tried some different things. But, overall, I'm like, it's still... It's dominated by video. I'm not going to really focus on that. Well, then little by little, we gained more control over the channel. We could add artwork. We could add a description. I could move things around. And so then, and once I started doing that, we started gaining a little bit more momentum, more followers. But then we went through a stretch of time where I was on the brink